spoken word. So I'm kind of thrilled to welcome Ayan, who is the current Poet Laureate of Birmingham. I know she's got to rush off to the Hippodrome and get there by 7:20, so I won't hold her any longer. I just ask you to kind of welcome Ayan forward.
Let's see if that works. Is the audio clear? Can you guys hear me? If not, I'll just project my voice. Hello, Philosopher's Yard. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you guys today. Yes, I do have to jet off, but I'm going to enjoy the moment whilst I'm here. Stay grounded. So my name is Ayan Aden, and I'd love to share with you guys a few poems that I think kind of orbit the concept of nationalism. A lot of my work sits at the intersection of reclaiming our stories and retelling our truths, and especially in the climate that we're in today, cough, cough, ICE and Donald Trump, I think it's more than important that Somalis are able to tell their stories in an authentic and empowering way. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into it, guys. I don't think this is on,
Yeah, it's not really working.
Yeah, I'm happy to move it out the way and project, if that's okay.
Okay, I think it's not really.
Yeah. Bismillah. My English is broken, she would say. My English is broken, my daughter. Under the belief that her inability to speak English so fluently was saddening. Until one day she really told me. She said, "You think that their words of hatred can affect me, Ayane, just because I don't speak the colonizer's language properly? Ayane, yes, mother, hehoy, ushag, tell them. Tell them that when I had to flee, I came from a place where death was easy, where young people would greet the Grim Reaper before they got a chance to meet life's destiny. Tell them that my broken tongue, in fact, carries salams and battle scars. From a land where people weather wherever storm under the belief that true relief can only come from Allah. Tell them that I come from a place where we treat our guests with the utmost of respect. Give them our best, even if that is the clothes of our chests, half whatever little we have with you. But you best pray to your Lord that we don't have war with you, because Ayani, yes, mother, tell them that I have seen what war can do. And tell them sometimes I felt as though my people knew how to die better than they knew how to live. From a people who hate to take, for they fear the injustice it brings, so they love to give a place where youngers are taught to play with sticks as kids before they could really translate what the bullets is. And even though this isn't how it was meant to be, nobody, my daughter, nobody envisions themselves as a refugee. Somalia, my country, was always more than enough for me. But you tell them that they will need to understand what I've gone through, what I've escaped from, to understand that broken English is the least of my worries, the least of what gets to me. Because when I had to flee, school streets and loved ones did not look like school streets or loved ones anymore, replaced with bombs, bullets, and unmarked graves that mark the places that we used to love before. Tell them, Ayane, that sometimes it felt like it was ghost was all we knew. From a people overshadowed by the angel of death. And like a visitor, when struggle would visit us, we would not shy away. We would welcome him into our homes. Sogel, come in. And you tell them, my daughter, that my people know how to meet hostility well, and that our broken tongues, in fact, have long been numbed, rigid from the minute that they bombed our wells, tried to starve us out in the middle of droughts until the skin of our children's bones fell. So yes, my daughter, my English may be broken, but oh, I am fluent in resilience, oh well. So who cares if I say Bepsi instead of Pepsi? How dare they try test me when the angel of death is yet to get to me? Ayane, yes, mother, hehoy, ushak, tell them. And Hasuso, remember to wear your Somali nimo, your identity with pride. And when they ask you where you're from, you remind them that your skin is from a land that has been kissed by the sea and the sun, and that your nose and your features are from a people who stick it high in pride and don't run when the arrow of pain hits and the angel of their tongues, and that your lungs breathe in sync to the heartbeat of a land where love and hatred interlink. The blood battle of brothers and kin. A Karen trying to police our tongues is no match for us. Ayane, think and tell them that revolution is as deep as the blood in your veins that remain unchanged like the river Shabelle. And I hear the Yasmada Ushega, like the fishermen who protected our waters when Libya Dagal and Okan and Galbetka, like the fishermen who protected our waters when nuclear waste and war is what they brought us. Ayane, Yasmada Heho Usheg. Ayane, Yasmada Heho Usheg. Ayane, Yasmada Heho Usheg. Usheg, 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 Usheg. Tell them that they would need to know death as well as I do, for I have tried to flee through land and sea, and those he took only remain in my memories. You tell them that they will need to understand what we've gone through and what we've escaped from, to understand that broken English is the least of our worries, the least of what gets to us. Before they ever dare understand us, you tell them, my daughter, you tell them. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. I love performing. Yeah, I think this is a good conversation to have, and I think a lot of times as an artist, I try to challenge people's own perspectives, and that was actually fueled from a conversation I had with my mother, who had her whole life in Somalia. She was a nurse with a master's working, and then she comes here, and because of a language barrier, people would deem it as a metric of her intelligence. So I said, what is the best way to say what my mother told me, which is, I don't care, you know what I'm saying, in a poem. So I thought I'd say that. I'm going to perform one more poem. And this poem was entered into a competition called Silsilata, which was done by EU and Somalia back in 2019. And they did a call out across the globe, and they said, what do you think of democracy, right, in the context of Somalia? And I think it has its own nuances that are packed. And I thought this word, this buzzword, democracy, has been the pain of my people for so long. And I don't know if I have it memorized because it's been a very, very long week. So the phone's just going to be there just in case. And we're going to go with it. Okay, cool. Bismillah. Every morning he would leave, his best suit and tie, eagerly saying goodbye. Yet when he returned, he was still a broken man. He said, Father, our values and daqan made us rich, but we were still struggling. And when he returned, his mood dampened. Awkward silence, screaming, broken despair, and nabal ashada in okan. Is the supper ready? You see, being a first generation in the West, we are taught that state building is inclusive of every single man. But what they don't understand is that when you have Qabil clan, democracy is inclusive of every single man and every single clan, to the point that every single man thought that he was a man with a plan to change Somalia. And in his mind, he was just the guy to help fix Somalia. And our country's politics and policies, my mother would say scorched earth policies in Somalia, is what these politicians use to police people like you and me. And I don't even care what the men in our community do. Because if we as women didn't have to pick up the burden, then we too would be so lost. Miles away from home, they huddled together at coffee shops, craving the remnant taste of chalet yesterday. So much that every day slowly turns into Halay last night. And blurred days blur the days, for they are homesick. Democracy is for them to go back home and love their people once more. They don't know it yet, she said, but democracy is for them to be at peace in their own land once more. She would continue. Democracy for me is to see my mother back home again. Democracy for me is to live in Somalia free of pain. Democracy for me is to see you and your siblings know your local language and dhaqan culture. Democracy for me is to see my people happy again. See, growing up, we was always taught that what we deem here as a necessity is actually luxury packed up sweetly in an abyss of privilege and handed down to us so undeservingly. Deservingly. Because we deserve what we have, right? And it's all a part of God's plan, right? See, God helps those who help themselves, but I can't help but think about those who can't help themselves. And I often speak to my cousin back home on the phone, and one day he said to me, look, every night I have the same dream, a barren landscape filled with blood red, and I would call out for help and scream, but nobody comes to my help. I've come to the conclusion that the people have all perished. Yet ironically, every day, Ayan, I wake up to another diminished, despaired landscape, but this one stretches from my subconscious to my reality. See, democracy for me is not that important. I just want peace and stability, to have the ability to leave my house every morning and come back every night comfortably without the fear of the bomb drops or the gunshots. I just want to be able to feed my children and not pay tax to the gunman. I already pay my tax to the men in uniform, but they use their gunman. And we don't need no ballot boxes and elections. We just need help, man. And for me, democracy means security and help. And we reach for it every single day, even if that means electing the wolf in sheep's clothing, claiming to help because my belief in good people has long fell. With many meanings, I ask you here today, what does democracy mean, look and feel like for you? My father tells me it's about fixing Wadankena, fixing our country. My mother tells me it's about helping Datkena, helping our people. Whilst my cousin tells me it's about Nabadena, our peace. But I feel as though this word paints over my people, pokes at my country and denies us our peace. So Marka, I ask, what does democracy mean to you? Thank you very much, guys. Very briefly, I think I grew up without seeing the correct representation, and you can't be what you can't see. And I think the Somali story has been told by so many people. And now that we're at a place where we're second generation or first generation that have grown up, I think reclaiming the power is reclaiming your story. Plato said those who tell stories control society. And the minute that we gave over that power of having our story told for us, like Trump and I keep referencing them, but it's given up that power, so we need to take that power back.
Thank you. And then the second is, where can people find you if they want to follow you?
Anywhere in Birmingham, man. I suppose Ayan Aden on all socials. I am trying to make poetry a lot more accessible, so I'm posting a lot more. But I suppose I'm always at the grassroots, because I think grassroots is where change begins and ends. So yeah, you'll see me around.
All right, thank you. Can we give another? Thank you.